everyone. I got invited to a Chanel event at the Chanel in Neiman Marcus Hudson Yards, so I thought I'd take you along with me. This is my favorite entrance to get into Neiman Marcus. It is on 10th Ave between 31st and 32nd Street. If you go through the revolving doors, you're dropped right off at the elevators that take you up to Neiman Marcus, so I find that to be the easiest way to get in and out of Neiman Marcus. So level 5 is the first level for Neiman Marcus. They're on 5, 6, and 7. As you can see, once you get out of the elevators, you are in the beauty section. If you keep walking forward, you will be in the shoe salon, as well as the handbags to the other side. And if you keep walking straight from here, you will end up at the Chanel boutique. So as you can tell, this is my straight path to Chanel. I definitely think Neiman Marcus has one of the largest Chanel shoe selections. It's all of these tables here, as well as a couple in the back. And this was my outfit for the day. Film much of the actual event, but this was the dermatologist psychiatrist doctor who was invited for this luncheon. I'll talk about it more later.
Yeah. I think that was really the main one. I'm surprised it's here, so that was fun to see. Yeah.
This is the phone holder technically.
No. Water bottle holder. The one that we saw on the iPad.
Silicone?
Oh wait, maybe it's long. Maybe, I don't know what this is. It's like silicone. Is it for like your dog?
I don't know.
But it's not big enough to really be a harness. You know what I mean? I want this.
What's that?
Huh?
What do you want? Hold it up.
But it's gonna be like that. It's so cute. It's like supposed to be a keychain. I'm not even gonna use it as a real keychain. These are there might be some other ones.
I like.
I like this one.
I like the cat.
The cat's a little too kawaii for me.
Big character.
Oh, look, it moves.
Yeah, they all move.
Oh. of a friend's vintage shop.
Thanks for tuning in. Today I shared some clips of me attending a Chanel event, and that was a particularly eventful Friday for me because I also stopped by a friend's vintage shop opening as well. So there were a lot of activities going on that day. I thought it would be a good day to vlog and share some of those clips. So I wanted to sit down and share a little bit more detail about both of those events that I went to and share what I picked up from Chanel as well. I have not been to that many Chanel events. I have previously shared a video on attending one of my first events, which I was just invited by my SA. So this was another event that my SA invited me to. And he just reached out mentioning that there was going to be a special lunch with a dermatologist. Her name is Dr. Wechsler, and she is one of 3 dermatologists and psychiatrists in the country. So she's board certified in both dermatology and psychiatry. So she really focuses on the connection of the mind and how that manifests in your skin as well. She is like a integral member of the Chanel skincare team. She advises a lot for their skincare line, and she is also one of the masterminds behind the Solution 10 formula, which I think was released a couple of years ago. So she has a lot of history with Chanel, the brand. She also does a lot of great work in the, skincare department. And so it was very interesting to be able to hear from her, some of her opinions on fad beauty related items, supplements and things like that. So it was definitely a great time to be able to sit down and talk to somebody like that. She is a very focused on the connection between the mind and the body, the mind and the skin, and how all of that is connected. So that was a very fun lunch to be a part of. And after that, you may have seen some clips. I stopped by the boutique as well. This event was hosted by the Chanel at Neiman Marcus in Hudson Yards, so that's why I popped down to the boutique right there. And I took a look at some of the new cruise items that have been trickling in. They didn't have a lot, so I will probably revisit at another time when they have a few more things that I'm looking for. But personally, more than cruise, I'm holding out for the spring summer collection. I personally liked a lot more in that collection than I did for the cruise, so we'll see if there really is anything else that I pick up from that collection. I tried out the trendy in the small size for the first time. There are a lot of folks that I watch on YouTube who have this item, like Claire Chanel. I think Sophie Chohat has one in pink. Oh no, she has the Coco handle in pink. But regardless, so I took a look at the trendy. I actually really liked it. I liked it in the small size. I thought it was a great size. It's a very good, everyday work appropriate bag, if you will, because it's not just like a big open tote where everything just falls inside. It has a little bit more structure. It has a more business appropriate look to it because of that structure, but it's not super rigid either. So we'll see. That might be something that gets added to my collection eventually, but I did not walk out with that just yet. I'm like I said, I am holding out for some pieces in the spring summer collection, so we shall see. But from the event, they shared this little goodie bag here, and so I just wanted to share what was inside. There is this book. It's The Mind Beauty Connection, and this is from the doctor who was at the event. So this is one of her books. And then the other item is packaged beautifully like this. And let's see what's in here. Oh wow. So this is actually a little sublimage kit, I think. It looks like there's an eye cream, a concentrate, and a face cream that's in here, like little sample sizes that are in here. So they were talking about the sublimage line as it relates to Solution 10 and things like that. So I've never tried this range before. I know it's not the cheapest range really that exists, so I'm excited to be able to try this out. Now I can move on to the little bag back here. This is what I picked up while I was at Chanel, and I will share. These are actually the flowers from the event. I was there chatting with the folks at my table until like they were wanting to clean up the event, and they mentioned that these flowers were like property of Chanel and not for the restaurant, so that we could take them if we wanted. So I brought some flowers home, which was very exciting. So this is a little box here, and inside is, ta-da, this little hair clip. I'm gonna try and do a little close-up here so hopefully you can see, and I'll try to insert a nice picture as well. So I know last season, so for the fall winter, there was that cursive writing Chanel hairpin that was all the rage. It came in a brooch as well as a hairpin, and I saw it in person and I thought it was still really cute. I thought it was adorable, really, but I could not deal with that price tag. It was in the $800 range for a hair clip, and I think the brooch is probably the same price. And I think it was that price range because of all of the embellishments on it. There were pearls, there were little, they're fake pearls, but they had the little pearls and the little rhinestones in there as well. Like, I could not justify spending that much money on a hair accessory, especially when I know that those are the types of embellishments that are the most prone to fall out. That was just one that I decided to pass up on. I see it a lot on Instagram, I see it a lot on social media, and I think it looks beautiful. I still really adore that piece, and I wish I have it, but at the time I decided to pass up on it. This season for cruise, there is this hairpin that has been released as part of that collection. I saw it on Instagram first, and so I asked my SA if they had any, and they did. So he actually set one aside for me, and I was pleasantly surprised actually when I saw this in person. I think this hair clip looks much better in person than in photos. In photos, it looks a bit chunky, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I still liked it based off of just a photo, but it looks a little more chunky, I would say, and it looks like it might be bigger. But in person, it's a lot more dainty. You can see there is that chain going through it, but the chain isn't super thick. It's not like a fat chain. And the lettering, while it's still like prominent, it's not overbearing and it's not super large. So when I saw it in person, I was really impressed, and I really liked it. I can like slide it in my hair just so you can see what it looks like. Let's try to do this quickly without a real mirror. So like that's what it could look like, and I thought it looked really cute. In my hair, it could go here, it could go in the back as it like gathers some hair together on both sides. But I just really liked the look. I just really liked how simple it was, and also it was, in my opinion, it was a better price point for a hair accessory. Sometimes I struggle in actually figuring out how to best style my hair. So with the introduction of some of these little accessories, I like to play around a bit, but not enough where, you know, I'm dropping like $1,000 on a hair clip, because I don't know if I'd really be able to drive that cost per wear down. But this was the little hair clip that I picked up from the cruise collection. I think it's cute, so I'm just going to leave it in my hair
it might not go with the pin underneath, and so if it actually looks horrible, I'm sorry, but I like it, so I'm just gonna leave it in my hair. Of course, as always, I will leave the specific product description and code information down below in the description box. In the vlog clips, you also saw that I stopped by Louboutin, and I did pick something up, but it is still on its way to me right now. If I receive it before I post this video, I can add a little clip. If not, I will touch upon it afterwards. But I did pick something up from the holiday animation collection. This time around, they did have a animation piece from last year. So I didn't realize they continued to produce some of these items, but I guess they do. It was a very interesting walk style bag, I guess. It's a really small bag, if it is a bag. And I really liked the functionality of it, but I didn't care too much for the specific print that was on it. I asked if that style came out in like a standard canvas, but it doesn't. That style is very specific to the animation series. Eventually I decided to pick this item up here, so I will share a little more detail when it arrives, but this is the other item that I picked up from Louis Vuitton that day. And then the other event, if you will, that I went to that evening was at a new vintage shop that opened up in the Bronx. My boyfriend's friend opened up a little vintage shop there, and it had just opened, so he was kind of throwing a little opening party, so we stopped by to say hello, check out the new space and everything like that. It's kind of like taking a time machine and going back in time. There's like a Mortal Kombat like arcade game machine. Like there's a really old TV in there. You know, like the solid tank, yeah, that kind of TV in there. So it was just fun to go in and see a lot of the older items that, you know, are part of a lot of our childhood that are gone now, that don't exist. And so yeah, there are a lot of cool things to check out there if you are interested. So I've been getting some feedback that folks would like to see more vlogs and things like that. So I am amping up the amount that I film outside as well, in hopes to be able to provide a better glimpse into New York City and things like that. I felt like this particular day was a good day to try and film some of the things that can happen, but I don't mean that to seem like that's my everyday life and that's what I do all of the time. That is definitely not my daily life. That's not like an average day for me. It is definitely a special occasion where I have events like that to go to. I'm not just talking about the Chanel event, even the opening party that was out in the Bronx. Like, I do make a conscious effort to keep some weekends open where I'm just not doing anything. There are no obligations to have to be somewhere at a specific time or to have to take care of something by a specific time, so that I can spend time, you know, cleaning the apartment, recharging in my own way, and not really having to feel like I need to be on the go, going to the next thing. On the flip side, there are days where I will have some events to go to, and those are, of course, the days that I feel like most people would be interested in seeing. So, you know, those are some of the snippets that you will see as I continue to vlog. You know, I'm always curious to hear some of your feedback, if you liked this, if you didn't like this, if you'd like to see more of something else. So of course, please let me know in the comments down below. Of course, if you have any other questions or anything like that, feel free to leave them down below or head on over to Instagram, and I'd be happy to help however I can. I also recommend, if you're interested, to follow me on Instagram. I have started to pick up my usage of stories to be able to share little snippets in more real time, and also to be able to get some more of your feedback in real time. Of course, I monitor everything that happens on YouTube as well, but I think sometimes Instagram supports a little bit more of that real-time feedback. So if you're interested, I definitely recommend following me there. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of your feedback and support. If you like these videos and you haven't already, I post new videos every Sunday, and I sprinkle in some bonus videos during the week as well. So if you'd like to be one of the first to know, then feel free to subscribe. So until next time, bye!